Hi, I'm Paul Rankin. I'm here at the Mourne Cookery School and I'm going to cook one of my favourite dishes, grilled Kilkeel prawns with garlic butter, nice and simple. So this is grilled local prawns with a herb and garlic butter. These are local Kilkeel prawns from fish merchant extraordinaire, Mr. Andy Yoong. So these are just from the harbour, literally just outside the building here. And the key with prawns is to make sure that they're very bright and ideally alive. So that's our prawns. In the garlic butter, we're going to put some parsley, chervil, tarragon, garlic, and a shallot reduction. So this is how we do it. So we start by making the butter. Get your pan on a nice heat. And we're going to make what we call a shallot and white wine reduction. So a couple of tablespoons of chopped shallots going into the pan. And about a good glass of white wine. And what we want to do, we want to reduce that white wine down to take away the sort of fresh acidity that white wine has that you kind of need to get rid of. So we'll pull that down and then we're going to blend it up with some garlic and the herbs. So the herbs that we've got some tarragon. We're going to want about a tablespoon of that. Chervil, about a tablespoon of that. Now chervil and tarragon both have a sort of different anise type flavor, sort of same but different kind of thing. The chervil is very mild and the tarragon is really quite pungent. But these are flavors that really suit the whole garlic and shellfish thing. It's really quite Mediterranean. And then the parsley, it kind of just freshens it up kind of thing. So that's probably enough of that. We'll just be chopping those up roughly. It's coming down nicely. So we have about 125, 150 grams of softened butter here. And then we've got about the garlic now. I like to leave it raw at this stage so it's not cooked out like the shallots. It's nice to have that bright, vibrant garlic flavor, which will then mellow as it cooks. So anywhere from about half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of garlic, we'll go for a dessert spoon of garlic. In go the herbs. We're just going to roughly chop the herbs at this stage. Now this butter, this is a recipe, an exact recipe that we used to do at Le Gavroche in London when it was 3-star Michelin with Albert Roux. Now we used to serve this with lobster, and basically the technique was pretty much the same. We'd serve it with lobster and then some béarnaise sauce on the side and some steamed boiled potatoes. And that was a 3-star Michelin dish, and it was all about the quality of ingredients, all about the quality of the butter and how it was made. And the quality of the raw shellfish. And here today, because we've got the live prawns coming from the harbour, we've got the exact same butter. This is pretty much a 3-star Michelin simple fish dish. Okay, the reduction, you see it's come down nicely. You want to take it down pretty much at least by half, by about 2/3. And that goes. And a little bit of salt and a little bit of white pepper. So, and in that goes into the food processor. Now, one of the nice things about putting it in the food processor is the food processor kind of blends everything together, sort of gets all the juices from the herbs all mixed in with the butter. You don't need to mix it too much. Now, this is the sort of the continental touch, is the little bit of Pernod or any sort of aniseed liqueur. Not too much because it will start to take over. This is really strong stuff, so it's really only a tablespoon or two. And one of the things I'm always saying to the kids in the kitchen, and one of the things that was always drummed into me as a young chef, is taste, taste, taste. And as you get more experience, you trust your instincts. If something doesn't taste quite right, well, add a little bit of lemon juice, add a little bit of sugar, add a little bit of salt, something like that. So let's taste this. Fantastic, fantastic. Just a little bit more salt. Blend that, the Pernod in. And that's our garlic butter done. See? Beautifully beautifully all blended together, all nicely softened. Now something like this would be really lovely on a steak with a simple piece of grilled fish. Be lovely with some sauteed squid. But I tell you, it's exquisite with these prawns. Now, all we have to do, this is really very simple. All we're going to do is split the prawns. Now, really, when we've got good local prawns like this, all you want to do is treat them as simply as possible. They'd be lovely, just boiled and then peeled and served with melted garlic butter. But I love this sort of grill thing where you perhaps do them underneath your grill or on a barbecue. So when you split a prawn, this is all edible. But here, right in the head, you have what's called the stomach sac. If you can see that, it's slightly gray. So that will be a little bit gritty. And we want to remove that really. And apart from sometimes the dark track that you get along the tail, which is not in this prawn, that's the only thing that you have to remove really. So this one has lovely big claws, and there's lots of meat in there. So maybe you just want to crack those open a little bit so that your guests can get into that. So we'll just do a couple more. Now, another one of the thing with prawns, these local Kilkeel prawns, or sometimes they're called Dublin Bay prawns, langoustines they're called sometimes, these are absolutely world-class produce. I mean, this is some of the best produce in the world, bar none. But the thing about them is that they need to be very fresh, very bright, ideally alive. These are just dead, really. And that's kind of perfect because it means we can sort of split them open without worrying about it. If they're alive and you're a little bit squeamish about splitting them open, just put them in the freezer for a while and they'll die quickly that way. Now, the reason why they need to be alive is that as soon as they die, there are enzymes that come from the head and drift into the tail. It's the same with lobster. And it absolutely destroys the meat, turns it mushy within a matter of hours. So very important to have fresh, bright prawns. So to cook the prawns, a little bit of salt, tiny, tiny bit of pepper. And then we take the garlic butter and we generously smear it all over them. So you want a nice tray that's going to catch all the butter, because what's going to happen is the juices from the prawns are going to mix with the melted garlic butter and it's going to be absolutely delicious. And then pop them under a hot grill. It's going to take, it depends how hot your grill is, it's going to take maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. Oh, here we go, here we go. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, delicious prawns. Now, quite important that you don't overcook them too much. So as soon as they firm up, they're pretty much ready. On they go. Look at that. I just think this is pretty much as good as it gets for me. It's the sort of food I absolutely adore. And then what we want to do is just get these lovely juices on the plate. I mean, the flavor of the prawns is so magnificent that we don't, in my opinion, we don't really want to mess with anything too much. Just a little bit of tarragon, chervil for garnish. It just looks so beautiful. And that's my grilled Kilkeel prawns with garlic butter. So So that's one of my favorite dishes, grilled Kilkeel prawns with garlic butter, beautifully simple. Now, if you want a little bit more information or you want the recipe for this, you can go to the Mourne Seafood Cookery School.com.